Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Thursday, people. After Arsenal handled Champions League business last night, although some of the finishing, boy, we're gonna talk about that. Let me tell you, because damn, you ain't often gonna get that many chances in a game of football. There'll be a day where that kind of finishing causes us a major problem. But we got away with it. 3-0 in the end. Quite convincing. I thought Monaco were pretty poor overall. Completely overplayed at the back. Golovin I thought was impressive. But yeah, it flattered them in the end. We could have beat them 5 or 6-0 quite easily. But we got the job done. Champions League table looks a lot better than it did before that game. We're back in the top 8. We've got Dynamo Zagreb and Girona as our last 2 games. 2 wins will definitely get us through. Maybe even 4 points will get us through. So listen, big up to everyone today. Apologise that the show 30 minutes later than usual. Just did a preview for the Everton game at the Emirates. That'll be on AFTV today or tomorrow. So because of the time, I had to start the show at 2:30. Yeah, that OG's podcast, man. Yeah, wrong place at the wrong time, people. StreamYard was playing up. We both didn't have a long time to get the show done, so we will rearrange that. We'll be back on Monday. We'll definitely be back on Monday, people. It highlighted we massively need a proper number 9. I'm hoping that the one positive, apart from winning last night, is that Mikel Arteta's got to be sitting in his office today going, I need a striker. Or is he? Is he thinking that? We know that, he comes out, I love these players, and he might be sitting there thinking, Jesus did well, he just needs to finish his chances, and Havertz came on and got a goal even though it don't look like he touched the ball. And I think we were talking about it today, actually, outside the Emirates. I think we need 2, but possibly even 3 players to go into the starting lineup. I think we need a left winger. I think we need a striker. I think we've all identified that. I'm still, if I was being really, if I wanted something close to perfection, I'm still not convinced by the midfield. I still think we could do with a better midfielder. I think Marino played all right yesterday. And I think he's an all-right player. But I don't know if you win titles with all-right players. Maybe you do if you've got great players around them. But I look at Marino, I think he's a squad player. I think he'll be decent in some games. I think other games you don't play him. I would still like to see Arsenal go and get a better midfielder. You could even, yeah, you're right, you could even argue that we need a left-back. It depends who you want to play there. Depends if Calafiori can stay fit. Marino running through wet concrete. Yeah, I don't know. Joe said Arteta is a forward killer. No strikers thrived under him so far. Jesus is allergic to scoring goals. Andy said we still need a left 8, which I think we do need an 8 as well in the summer. Or in January. Elk said, man, at this point, if we do get Dusan, I'm cool with it. Desperation, right? One more defender, Harter. That's the young left-back in it at Ajax. Zubomendi might be available. They reckon he could even be available in January, but we'll see. Curtis, can we put MLS left 8? Well, he is a natural midfielder, but apparently the club converted him to a left-back. I don't know, but he was fantastic yesterday. Do we even know our best team? I'm not sure we do. I think if we were picking our best team, we would go Raya, Gabriel Saliba, Timber. You would either go Timber left-back with Ben White right-back or Timber right-back with Calafiori left-back. And then midfield, I think you would go Partey and Rice, but I still don't think that is perfect balance. And then you would go Odegaard, Saka, and unfortunately, you would probably have to go Havertz up front over Jesus. I don't rate any of them two. On the left, I mean, it's a pick and mix. You could pick anyone. I don't know whether you would pick Martinelli or Trossard or Raheem Sterling. I haven't got a clue. Do you know what? I would actually like to see Declan Rice in the 6 with Odegaard and Wanyeri playing in front of him. That's what I would like to see, but I doubt we'll see it. Mish said, give Jesus a break. That guy's coming back from a serious injury. His assist show is sharp. He just needs a goal. Listen, Mish. Whilst I like your sympathy towards the player, that injury was 2 seasons ago. That injury was 2 seasons ago. So I got to wait, what, another season? Right? Then you say his assists show he's sharp. All right, he got an assist. Good assist. Just needs a goal now. I mean, come on. He hasn't scored. He scored 2 goals all year. 1, in fact, Preston. That was it. The guy don't score goals. So saying all he needs is to score goals. Yeah, 1 in 32, I'm sorry. I ain't got time for that. That attitude will make us win nothing this season. If he'd got injured 2 months ago, I'd have sympathy for him. He got injured 2 seasons ago. Not interested. He's on £250,000 a week. No. All he needs to do is score goals. All right, go and score goals, mate, somewhere else. Yeah, he got injured during the World Cup. That was years ago. Absolute years ago. Not interested in his excuses. Sink or swim. And this guy is sinking. So get him out. Yeah, ain't interested in that. And listen, he is a decent player. But gotta go. Those cheekbones. Oh, elite cheekbones. Elite cheekbones. South London's finest. Arsenal the only club that waits on players to come good. Exactly. Do you think, did Fabregas say, oh, Arsenal, lovely club. All I've got to do is wait for them to win trophies. You can see they play good football. No, he went, thank you very much. I'm off to Barcelona. The clubs don't give us the patience. Why should the club be patient for a player? Come on, man. Jesus got injured years ago. He's a sharp player. I've always said one thing I will say on this channel. I will never actually criticise Gabriel Jesus' technical ability. And the same with Kai Havertz. I believe both of them are technically good footballers. Good touch, good movement. But they're not good enough. They're not good enough. Would you bring Rashford to the carpet? And you know I'm a Rashford fan. They reckon he could be available for 40, 50 million. I don't think he would work under Arteta. I really don't. He's the wrong manager for him. He's not an individual brilliance kind of manager. He's a collective system manager. You ain't going to get Rashford to play system-based football. That guy is a complete individual. So, and you know I've liked Rashford for a long time, but nah, you do not bring him to Arsenal with Arteta as manager. Eruption said Lewis Skelly, future 8, possibly, but apparently the club want him to play left-back inverted. And Kamar, big up to you, new member on the channel. Big up your damn self. Right, let's get into the show. Let's get into the show. Good victory last night. Some good performances. A little bit more news has popped up, actually, a few minutes ago as I was about to go live. So we will delve into that. But we will go over last night's game. And I agree with you, Franklin. For me now, the problem with those Rashford kind of signings is we keep trying to rescue people. I don't want that anymore. I think we're out of that zone. I don't want Arsenal to sign players that, oh, he's been terrible for a year, but can we get him back to what he was before? Forget that. When you've got good money, right, you go and buy a brand new car. Or a car, you know, that's in great condition. You don't buy some beat-down car that's been in a car crash, wheels hanging off, engines leaking oil, and go, oh, let me see what I can get this to before. See if I can fix it up in the garage. Nah. You've got the money, go and buy the car out the showroom. Why are we rescuing all these stray dogs all the time with fleas? Rashford and Havertz and... Nah, bond that. Bond that. If we're getting a winger, go and get Kvara. Go and get Rafa Leao. Go and get a winger that is actively playing well. That comes straight into this team. You know what I mean? You get your family, you go, oh, you know, you have your kids and they go, oh, I want a dog for Christmas. You know, you don't start lurking the streets at night and get some homeless dog that keeps scratching, that, you know, dribble coming out of its mouth, looks like it's got rabies and going to bite you. You don't bring that dog home to your family and say, there you go, there's your dog. Do you want to take it for a walk? You go, you get the dog, you get the proper paperwork, you make sure it's had its injections, you bring it into your home, you know what's what. Arsenal out here getting stray dogs and bringing them home for Christmas. The dog can't stop scratching. Now your kid's got fleas, it's all mad. Just do what you need to do, you know what I'm saying? Nah, no more strays, people, no more strays. Let's go and buy proper. I ain't trying to get Rashford. And I did like Rashford, but nah. Leave him out of it. Kolo Muani, Jesus, and Havertz for dinner. My striker. Right, let's move on. You know what I mean? Kolo Muani, I've never heard anybody say my striker for Kolo Muani. I've told you, he's just a stretched out Eddie Nketiah, mate. I don't want Muani anywhere near this football club. The only way Muani comes to Arsenal is if Gunnosaurus is going on holiday for 2 weeks. When I say we need a striker, I mean a quality striker, not some stretched out Eddie Nketiah from France who missed a one-on-one to win the World Cup. I don't want nothing to do with Muani. Anyway. Enough. Let's look over last night's game, people. Saka with 2. Havertz possibly scored. I'm not sure. I thought you had to kick the ball to score, but I don't know. Listen, people, I just want to ask you quickly in the comments. Did Havertz touch that ball in your opinion? I've seen 2 different angles. One of them, it looks like he gets nowhere near it. The other one, I thought maybe it flicks off his boot and then hits the defender. So, did he touch it? I don't know. That's real shameless, but I respect it. His goal bonus is probably about 10 grand. I'd run around saying I touched it as well. I thought it was an own goal. Man's running around with his arm up. It hit me! It hit me! That is shameless. He'd do well in this community, that donkey. I'm telling you. Man put his arm up straight away and said, it hit me. Celebrate with me. But anyway, goal's a goal. We're shameless. We'll give him the goal. Boost his confidence. Why not? Get his numbers up. I thought it might have flicked off him, then hit the defender. I'm not sure. One angle, it looked like it did. Big C, come on, Jesus is the next Henry. He just needs to get a run of games. No, I'm not falling for that. Forza Milan. Yeah, give us Rafa Leao. We'll give you... How about Gabriel Martinelli? That should work for you. Anyway, 3-0 victory for Arsenal. Under normal circumstances, last night should have been at least 5-0. At least. Like minimum 5. And even then I'd have probably said, boy, it could have been 7 or 8. Like, you're talking about absolute sitters. Like, clear-cut one-on-ones that you can't believe people are missing. I couldn't believe the sitters we were missing. However, it was good to see us creating chances. Monaco played right into our hands. They played a high line. They tried to play out from the back. It just suited us to perfection. The worst miss for me was Martin Odegaard's. Odegaard's was the worst because he had no pressure. He was in the middle. You could open up. You could take it round. You could go near post. You could chip him. You could meg him. Do whatever you want. Now, Jesus' first one as well was massive. And the fact he's a striker, he's trying to be, Jesus missed a great opportunity last night. And I don't mean all the chances that he missed. I'm talking about he actually had an opportunity to put real pressure on Havertz. In the sense that Havertz has not been playing well. Jesus comes into the team. Imagine if he scored 2 goals last night, them 2 one-on-ones. All of a sudden, Havertz gets dropped for the Everton game on the weekend. That's a game that I actually think will score a few goals in as well. He could have scored in that. And all of a sudden, I'm not saying we'd be sitting here going, we don't need a striker. We need a striker regardless. But Jesus could have made himself Arsenal's #1 striker for the foreseeable future. We could be saying, okay, Jesus looks like the one before the injury. Scored 2 last night, maybe get a goal or 2 against Everton, and all of a sudden he's our #1 striker. I almost feel like he ended his Arsenal career yesterday because people just said, nah, we can't trust him. We just cannot trust him. And when you think about it over the years, we've had numerous strikers at this football club. I was thinking back to these strikers having 2 one-on-ones in a game. Do I think these guys would miss those chances? Aubameyang scores both of them, in my opinion. I think Lacazette scores at least one of them as well. Somebody just said in the comments here, what about Eduardo? Eduardo as a finisher was unbelievable if he never got injured. I think he scores both of them. You can't miss both of them. I'm sorry. I know his confidence is shot to pieces at the moment, but you have to score them. And then Martinelli's one as well. People ignoring Martinelli's one because the flag went up. I'm telling you, he was onside. I think VAR would have checked that and given it. And I know people used to, I used to get a bit of criticism on this channel from the community. You're Aubameyang's lawyer. I say it. I take no shamelessness in the fact I'm a striker merchant. I love goal scorers. My favourite players growing up were always strikers. This football club have not replaced Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And in fact, if you want to wind it back further than that, this football club have not replaced Alexis Sanchez. Now, I know those guys of that quality are difficult to replace, but they've not been replaced. We haven't even got somebody that's close to their level. Not even close to their level. And that's a problem. Honestly, I'm genuinely not joking. I think I score at least one of them. Like, I'm not even joking. But yeah, listen, I know Sanchez, Aubameyang, they were at world-class levels at Arsenal, but we haven't even got close to it. Saka is genuinely carrying our front three. That is a concern. They have to take some of the pressure off his shoulders. Drew said I was at the game yesterday. Honestly, that might be Kai's best performance in an Arsenal shirt. He did well when he came on. I give him credit for that. First touch, he brought the ball out the air and a nice little turn. He did look good. Curtis would score both. J-Man said his grandmother would score those. Oh, the Odegaard one, jeez. Don said, do you think Iwobi would do a better job at left wing than Martinelli? Probably in the current form, but we have to aim higher than that. The proof is in the intro. Well, it used to be. Yeah, exactly. Well, the intro was back today. The intro was back. Hey, it's been away for a while. Should we run it back just for old time's sake? Run that blood clot! You ever seen Martinelli do that? I don't. You can say, oh, what level's it at? I don't care. You ever seen Martinelli finish like that? Call me, bro. I sort that mess out. Offside in the intro. VAR said it was a goal. VAR said it was a goal, people. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Yeah, we can help him if he needs help. Oh, the Kivior pass. Let's get into player ratings. Anyway, I'd love Martinelli to replace by Florian Wirtz. If we sign Rashford, sack Arteta. Arteta won't sign Rashford, mate. He's scared of them Louis Vuitton jackets. Great intro. It's decent, isn't it? We haven't replaced Henry. Well, yeah. Irreplaceable, I suppose you could say. With Thierry. We'll probably never have a player as good as Thierry. I'll be honest with you. I don't think ever. But anyway, let's go through it. 16 shots, 8 on target. 50% conversion rate in terms of shots to shots on target. 55% possession. Monaco had 7 shots, 2 on target. Blah, blah, blah. Arsenal up to 3rd in the league. Liverpool top, Barcelona 2nd, Arsenal 3rd, Leverkusen 4th. Villa 5th, Inter Milan 6th, Brest 7th, and Lille in 8th. I mean, it's looking a lot rosier. Dynamo Zagreb and Girona last 2 games, we should qualify. When you look at these next ones, I mean, Dortmund, Bayern, Atletico, Milan, Juventus, Manchester City and Real Madrid. Personally, I don't know about anybody else. I've seen a lot of debate and questions about it. I think this new Champions League format is way better than the old format. And I mean way better. I think it's 10 times better. To me, the Champions League has been dull for the last few seasons. The group stage of the Champions League is boring as hell. All the big teams are separated. They all get through their group, pretty much win it. Then they don't play each other in the next round because they've all finished top. You don't actually see a good Champions League until the quarterfinal. In terms of excitement, in terms of big games. Look at the games that we've seen in the Champions League already. Even last night, Juventus against Manchester City, Liverpool against Real Madrid, Arsenal against PSG. We've seen some fantastic games. Dortmund against Barcelona yesterday. Brilliant game. So, for me, I think the new Champions League format is way better. I know people are complaining, 2 extra games. Villa against Bayern as well. This Champions League format is way better. Champions League's been dull for years until you get to the quarterfinal. And you're going to lose big teams. I'm telling you now, you're going to lose big teams. Why? Because you're top? Well, we're not actually top. We're third. But yeah, we qualified last year out of the group as well. I was actually disappointed with the Champions League last year. People thought I was crazy, but we'd waited years to get back in the Champions League. And I think the only big game really was Bayern Munich that we had. No disrespect to Porto. I'm talking a game that really created huge excitement. And the second leg, we were terrible in Germany. So the home leg was the only really exciting game. So I'm enjoying the Champions League this year. I think it's been a lot better. And we should qualify now. Jesus, 1 goal in 32 games. But there's somebody came in my comments earlier going, I need to be patient with him. All he needs to do is start scoring goals. He's got 1 goal in 32 games on £250,000 a week. But I'm supposed to be patient. By the way, the comments are going crazy again with the jokes about Brest being right up there in the group. Look again. Why Unknown C said yesterday it's me who sets off the community. I didn't even say anything today. I told you. Why always me, bro? Balotelli settings. It's the community. They've all got the crazy sense of humour, but you need it. I respect it. If you're an Arsenal fan, sense of humour is the only way you'll get through. You know what I mean? So I respect it. I respect it. Brest, they've been right up there. You know? Last 2 matches will be crazy. 8 teams at 13 points. Yeah. Big up my bro Akeem Kavara. That's why I always call him Kavara, because I just butcher his name. Kvaratskhelia, innit? But Kavara works for me. Kavara and Isak, 200 million, blow up the market. Blow up the market and Kroenkes just doesn't go hand in hand, does it? That's the problem. They ain't blowing up no market. They ain't interested in blowing up the market, bro. Not at Arsenal. I told you, people have to understand. We're the bread. We're the bread and the tap water. You go to that nice restaurant. You've been sitting there. You haven't ordered anything yet. You've only been there for about a minute. The guy comes over. They put a little basket, some bread on your table, and a little glass or a little jug of water. That is Arsenal. Then they come over in a few minutes. Hi, can I take your order? We're just there, just like tap water in a jug and some bread that's just stale. That's Arsenal, bro. That's all we are to the Kroenkes. Yeah, the main course is Denver Nuggets, LA Rams. You know what I mean? We're the side dish people. I tell people this all the time. I can get the timestamp. Yo, go easy on me, bro. Go easy. James, look, you're even paying for it. Nice breast should be a good watch. You're all out of order. You really are. Denver Nuggets. What's that? Denver Nuggets, one added another big name to the current team and win the championship. Yep, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if another one. All right, let's go through the 11. I'll quickly skim through this, but you guys let me know what you think. I haven't watched the game back, but I remember it pretty much anyway. David Raya. And again, I like to reiterate, when players are not getting acknowledged enough. And I always say when goalkeepers don't get spoken about, it means they're doing their job. I think David Raya is one of the best goalkeepers in Europe this season. I feel very secure with David Raya in goal. He's a good shot stopper, good distribution, good at collecting crosses. 30 million, he's been brilliant. I still don't think he's on the level of Alisson. I think Alisson is world class and he's a bigger presence. But Raya has been quality for Arsenal. 7 out of 10. Didn't have a lot to do last night, but people say I'm very hard. You're harsh on the manager. You're harsh on the club. When they deserve flowers, they'll get them. Buying Raya for 30 million and selling Ramsdale, I think was a hell of a decision. I actually think that Raya has become a better goalkeeper since Ramsdale left. I don't believe you can maintain 2 number 1 goalkeepers. I just don't. I think you have to have a clear number 1 and number 2. And I think Raya's been even better since Ramsdale left. He's fantastic. Really brilliant goalkeeper. One of the best goalkeepers we've had for years, really, since Emi. But we only had Emi for 6 months, really, in the first team. So, brilliant decision. What I do like about Raya is his temperament. He's very calm. You know, he just gets on with his job. So, brilliant signing for 30 million. Thomas Partey, people. I think Partey's doing all right at right back. Having said that, It's an experiment that I want to see end. I'll be totally honest with you. I would like to see him back in the midfield, but I think he's putting in very good performances. I give him a 7. Listen, going forward, you're not gonna get a lot from him at right back. He's not gonna maraud up and down that right hand side. So I'll give him a 7. Let me give him a 7.5. He's playing out of position. He was solid, but I don't want to see him at right back much longer. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't want to see it. He does do well there. He's got to go back into midfield. Curtis Almunia or Rail. I don't know why you're swearing at me, mate. We don't discuss that A word on this channel. So there's listen, Don, I'd rather you was in goal than Almunia. Let me just say that. Yeah, we don't want to talk about him. I have to say, people, round of applause. Left back. At 18, I was doing shots of Sambuca at 5 a.m. in Iron Apple. If you've ever been there, you're right there with me. I'm drinking water at the moment. But at 18, I was in Iron Apple. And this guy last night, and I certainly wasn't very mature either. Yep, some of you have been there. This guy last night, MLS, and I don't mean Major League Soccer people, Miles Lewis Skelly Carlos, inverting into midfield, turning midfielders like they're not even there, through ball into Gabriel Jesus. Maturity, 18 years, 18. Yo, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, people. I'm sorry. Listen. Nwaneri's the one we're all hyped about, of course. Of course. People saying I'm not even mature now. Well, yeah, well, at times. It has been said that I sometimes get a bit carried away. We all like to think we're mature, but we're all big children deep down, I suppose, aren't we, you know? But yeah, what a player, Lewis Skelly. But I think Skelly and Nwaneri are going to save this club a lot of money. A lot of money, if you trust them. If you trust them, they have to play. They have to play. Brilliant performance. 9 out of 10. Made that first goal. Made that first goal. For me, that ends Zinchenko's career at Arsenal. Not that Zinni had a long-term future, but we got an 18-year-old that can step into midfield and do what you try and do there anyway. And he's quicker than you. Game over for Zinni. Lewis Skelly, 9 out of 10. Brilliant performance. Trust him. Mikel, trust him. Trust Nwaneri. They are good enough. This isn't out of sympathy. This is genuine quality. Stephen Ijguna said he's nearly 61 and still in my head I'm 20 and always will be. That's how you got to move. That keeps you young, people. You know what I mean? Drink your water. Make sure your skin's hydrated. And just enjoy life, you know what I mean? We can't take the enjoyment out of life, you know? We just got to keep enjoying, you know? So, yeah, you're right. You're as young as you feel, people. You only say them things as you're getting older, don't you? Because when you are young, you don't need to say that. But, yeah, you know, I'm still doing them young things, man. You know what I mean? Weekend league on FIFA and all that, you know? Rage quitting. Nah, I don't rage quit. Team's pretty good. Anyway, 2 centre-backs. Jakub Kiwior. I mean, Kiwior, man. I said after the Fulham game, I don't ever want him to play for Arsenal Football Club again. Unless he's playing for the under-23s to keep himself fit. However, he had to play yesterday, and fair play to him. The Kiwi was ripe yesterday. The Kiwi was ripe. The pass that he played to Gabriel Jesus, I mean, what a ball that is. I'm giving him 8 out of 10, people. Judge him on one performance, not what you've seen previously. He was excellent yesterday and the ball was outstanding. However, do I trust him? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't trust him. I just can't. If Gabriel's fit at the weekend, Kivior sit down on the bench. But I don't know. Has Kivior got a future at the club? Is he just a stopgap now and we get someone in and then we get rid of him in January? How do you guys feel with him? Plays well against United, then he's poor against Fulham, then he plays well against Monaco. I feel a little bit for him because I think if he'd been given a longer run at centre-back, he might be an all-right defender as cover, but I can't figure him out. I just don't feel like I can trust him. I feel like if he played for 5 games, he's going to make a big mistake somewhere. I don't know. I don't know with him. I still think I would get rid of him. But he did play well yesterday. People saying Polish holding, bench player. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know for me. I'm still not convinced. We played well. Saliba. He was brilliant yesterday. The only thing, he gave a silly pass away that could have cost us. So I'm going to give Saliba a 7.5 because he could have cost us a goal. Saliba sometimes, he's so relaxed. It's like the game's so easy for him. He just does stupid things. And he gave the ball away trying to whip a pass around the corner. And against a better team, you get punished for that. So I'm giving him 7.5. But yeah. Big C, remember Gabriel at the start? Yeah, but I think you could see at the start. Even though Gabriel made the odd mistake, he was still really good. But Kivior, I don't know. I don't know with Kivior. Let's go into the midfield. Declan Rice. Good shift in the 6. I'll give him... I'm not giving him 6 out of 10, by the way. I mean in the 6 role. I'll give him 7 out of 10. Came off. I still think they're nursing him back to full fitness. The only thing that annoys me with Rice sometimes is his passing. It's like he gets the ball, looks forward, and then thinks, don't know if I can take that risk. What if I lose it? All right, I'll go sideways. And I'm like, bro, just play the ball forward. You wonder, don't you, as the broken toe healed yet? Is he fully fit yet? I'm not too sure, but I'll give him 7 out of 10. You can see what he's better at than Partey in the 6 is hunting people down, winning the ball, driving runs. And you can see what he's worse at than Partey, which for me is the passing. Arsenal are a between-the-lines team. Odegaard wants to get between the lines. He wants the inverted midfielder between the lines. That means your number 6 has to play the ball forward and quickly. Rodri is elite at it. Rice does not do it quick enough. He's got to get the ball, look for Odegaard, look for the striker if he drops in. It's like he takes too much caution with his passing. So that's what he needs to improve on. 7 out of 10. Mikel Merino, listen. Mikel Merino played all right yesterday. Couple of good turns and good passes. Got caught a few times. Got booked. I don't want to be unkind on him because he wasn't bad. And I don't want to lean you towards the rating you give him. I'm not convinced by him yet. I thought he played all right. I'd probably give him 6.5 maybe. He played all right. But he's nothing more than a squad player in my mind. I don't look at him and think, Marino's going to take us to the title. Not even close. Not even close for me. I think he's an average player. I'll be totally honest. People might think I'm being really harsh here on Merino. I think he's an average player. I'm not sure he ever ends up becoming a first-team regular. I still think we need a centre midfielder. So that tells you. He's a slower version of Xhaka. Yeah, probably is. Xhaka's probably better than him, to be honest. I give him 6.5. Decent squad player. He played okay yesterday. Couple good turns, good passes, but then got caught on the ball a few times. Yeah, 6.5 is where I'm at with Mikel Merino. Zubi Dooby Doo, where are you? Yeah, Zubimendi was the higher rated one. But I think we need a midfielder again in the summer. Spent too much chasing him. Yeah, well, they reckon Edu didn't want him. Yeah, that Reinders, is it, for AC? He's looked very good this season. Martin Odegaard, I'll be honest, I don't think he played that well. He missed an absolute sitter. But he did win the ball back. Did he play one of the through balls to Jesus. I actually forget who played that second one to him. I feel like it was Odegaard, but I'm forgetting actually. The miss is unforgivable for me. You missed the target, bro. I give him 5.5. I'm being kind. I actually think Odegaard's had 2 very quiet games the last 2 games. I've not been overly impressed with Odegaard. Yeah, he's shooting. Do you know what? I'm actually being quite kind giving Odegaard 5.5. I'm only giving him 5.5 because the way he presses is so good. But his shooting was awful. Gets dragged again. Why does our captain always get dragged off the pitch? I actually thought Nwaneri looked better in that role than Odegaard yesterday. There's a bit of sympathy attached to it. He did press well, but his shooting's got to improve. This is a guy that 2 seasons ago got 15 league goals. Now he looks like he can't shoot from outside the penalty area. It was a bad day for him. He wasn't good. I'll be honest. He was not good. I mean, I've just looked at the front 3. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly in terms of the performances. New daddy tax. Oh, man. People saying Odegaard's playing bad because his wife's just had a kid. Oh, he's up late doing the bottle feeds, is he? Jesus. Where do we start with these 3? All right, for the comedy element, we're going to save the 2 stinkers for afterwards. Bukayo Saka gets a 9 out of 10. Why? Because he won us the game clutch. I actually don't think Saka played that well in the game. It's not like he was ripping up the fullback. However, I'm very... What's the word? I get caught up sometimes in Saka. Like, at times I'm like, nah, not quite world class, needs to do more. Then I sit there and think to myself, but who else is doing anything? Like, he could turn around to me and say, okay, fair enough, bro. You might think I need to do more. But who else is actually doing anything? Havertz? Jesus? Martinelli? Trossard? What is the Arsenal attack without Saka? We are actually Saka FC when it comes to attack. Man of the match, again, in the Champions League. 2 goals. Could have nearly got a hat-trick. He's our best attacking player. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You're talking about now 9 goals in the Champions League and the Prem. 5 in the Prem, 4 in the Champions League. 4 goals in 5 Champions League games with 2 assists. 6 goal contributions in 5 Champions League games. Last season he got 8 in 9. 10 assists in the Premier League. He is the star boy of Arsenal. I actually put him above Odegaard. I know a lot of people have that conversation. Is it Odegaard? Is it Saka on the same level? I think Saka is Arsenal's best attacking player. I just don't think there's any doubt about it. This guy, he produces on a consistent basis. Even when he doesn't play well, he'll get you a goal. He'll get you an assist. I would say outside of Mo Salah, you're looking at Mo Salah, Lamine Yamal, Saka, Rodrigo. Probably those 4 are your top right wingers in world football. The guy is outstanding. He's absolutely outstanding. It's as simple as that. He produces on such a consistent basis. And as I always say, the club have got to be careful. People will be coming for him if we don't win trophies. So Saka, yeah, you're doing all the heavy lifting, bro. You know what I mean? People just standing there watching you. What they need to do is the other 2 need to do something so that he gets more space and he can produce even more. Why do you think Salah and Mane were so devastating at Liverpool? Who do you double up on? Oh, we'll double up on Salah. Mane will rip you apart. Double up on Mane, Salah scores a hat-trick. In the end, you can't double up on both of them. You might have to just go 1v1. Imagine if our left-hand side was performing and Saka had more space. He'd score even more goals. He's doing it in spite of the attack, not because of them. Right, there's all the niceties out the way, people, when it comes to the front 3. Saka, man of the match, 9 out of 10, brilliant. Where do I start with these 2? I actually think Martinelli was even worse than Jesus. I actually think he was even worse. To me, he had an absolute shocker yesterday. This guy, I mean, Jesus never lied. He said scoring goals is not my strength. So I shouldn't be surprised when I see him miss 2 one-on-ones. Like, yeah, all right, let's go. People saying full names needed. Let's do this. I'm not messing around anymore. I can't stand watching this guy Martinelli play football at the moment. Gabriel Teodoro Martinelli Silva. Gabriel Teodoro Martinelli Silva. 23 years of age. Born in Sao Paulo. 1 goal in 6 Champions League games. Saka's got 4. And he's got no assists because he never lifts his head up. So how's he meant to set somebody up when he don't know where anybody is? Right? And then in the league, he's got 3 goals in 13 games. None in the FL Cup. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. You know me, people. Other channels are available. At the moment, washed up. Absolutely washed. He's washed. Like, there's not a lot I can say. Washed. Can't be Brazilian. There has to be a link to another country. I believe he's got Italian in him, but I wouldn't even want to throw him on the Italians. He's got to be from El Salvador or some smaller country in South America. Absolutely painful. He makes your eyes hurt when you watch him play football. He has been Space Jam. 2 years ago, I said, boy, he might be better than Saka, you know. He's putting pressure on Saka right now, bro. You are... I don't even... He ain't better than Gervinho right now. He ain't better than Joel Campbell. This guy is absolutely washed. Washed. Should have got sent off yesterday, by the way, Martinelli. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, Gary Martin. We call him Gary Martin. That ain't Gabriel Martinelli. That's Gary Martin. It's his cousin. It's his cousin from Shepherd's Bush. I don't know who that is. I look at him, I don't know who that is, mate. Who's that playing left wing? I ain't got a clue. Looks like somebody's just genuinely Mickey Mouse and Daffy Duck. They have... Well, it's not even Mickey Mouse. It's Bugs Bunny in Space Jam, innit? They've Space Jammed him in his sleep. I don't know who the hell that is playing left wing for Arsenal. But that ain't Martinelli. That's Gary Martin. Leigh said, I just walked in here, I heard Gervinho and Joel Campbell. Well, basically, they're upgrades on Martinelli at the moment, to be honest. He was absolutely awful yesterday. Awful. Awful. Hardly made a pass. Missed a sitter. Should have got sent off. Stinker of a performance. That is Ricky Martin. Makes you order and champagne. And insane. Come on. Outside, inside out. She's living la vida loca. This guy is a lunatic of a footballer. I've never seen somebody play football how he's playing football. Honestly, he's headbutting the floor. He's literally headbutting the floor. I mean, was it R9 Ronaldo who said that Brazilian football, like, he hates watching the Brazil national team and he watches tennis? I'd watch tennis. Imagine watching Martinelli, Jesus and Richarlison for Brazil. Oh my days, I'd watch a different sport. The Brazilians must think their whole team's been Space Jammed. They've gone from Rivaldo, Ronaldinho and Ronaldo to man like Martinelli. Curtis, you said Martinelli is like a hyena. I think that's disrespectful to the hyenas, to be honest, when I said that. Oh, it was Ronaldinho who said it. I mean, Ronaldinho... Honestly, sometimes I'm so glad of the generation that I grew up in. Oh, Anthony as well. Oh, my... Imagine Anthony, Jesus and Martinelli front three and Richarlison. Honestly, they'd lose to Montserrat. I'm so thankful I grew up in that generation. I had the pleasure of watching R9 Ronaldo and Ronaldinho and Rivaldo and Romario and all these greats. Imagine watching these absolute stinkfest players. Stinkfest. Jogger Finito. Absolute dross out of Brazil. Like, these man here stink. Like, absolutely stink. Real talk, these men are dreadful. And you know, in Jamaica, they love Brazil, you know. Because Jamaica obviously weren't that successful, they always gravitated towards Brazil. 2002 World Cup, bro. R9 and them, man. Look at the players. R9, R10, Rivaldo, Cafu, Carlos, Saka, Dido, Lucio, Gilberto Silva, Dunga, Robinho. Robinho, you know. Step over Robinho. Are you mad? Robinho would be the best player. These... Get this guy off the screen. Adriano. ISS Pro, 99 shot power. We used to race to pick Inter Milan who can get there first because you knew Obafemi Martins had 99 pace. Adriano had 99 shot power. Imagine playing FIFA and picking Arsenal. What? Martinelli, Jesus and Havertz. What the hell are you going to do with them? Stinkers. Stinkers. Martinelli, I'm giving him a 1. I'm sorry. You might think it's harsh. He was disgusting yesterday. He'd be training this morning by himself. He'd go, I thought we had the day off the day after a game. Yeah, we have, but you haven't. You're training because I'm trying to get you up to a level that somebody's going to make an offer for you because I can't watch this anymore. It's no coincidence. We've said it for years, people. This manager quietly has been trying to replace Martinelli for years, trust me. Nobody wants Mudryk for 80 million if you're happy with Martinelli. There's just no doubt. There's just no doubt. Jono said, this generation of Brazilian ballers made the Jamaicans into Argentina fans. Big up from Yard. I mean, they had to gravitate somewhere else. Messi and that. Juninho. 2 Juninhos. Juninho, the one that played for Middlesbrough. And the free kick Don from Lyon. Big up Matty said, in Brazil, these fellas are called popcorn makers. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Like I said, there's no way Martinelli ever played football in the favelas. I reckon he grew up on a farm or something. I'm telling you now. Or in the mountains. There's no way he played in the favelas. There's no way. You know, Lil Z and that City of Gods. There's no chance he's from the ghetto. They'd have kidnapped him playing like that. Imagine that. Skillful football and this guy's running into the fence. You know what I mean? Don't look at anyone. Nah, man. He never touched no favelas. He never touched favelas. Gabriel Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, dear. You know, certain times, people, you got to approach the player ratings with caution. I got to approach this one with caution. Real talk. Gabriel. Oh, man. Ah, dear. Oh, dear. Damn, fam. Damn. Let's have a look at the full name. I don't know. The funniest comment last night, somebody said, Gabriel needs Jesus. And I think that sums it up perfectly. If I was him, I'd be praying for guidance and some sort of help and intervention. Gabriel Fernando de Jesus. I mean... Wow. Not too sure how to even approach this. Champions League this season, 5 games, no goals, 1 assist. Premier League this season, 12 games, no goals, no assists. Making a grand total of 1 assist, no goals in 17 games. He does have 1 goal in the EFL Cup against Preston. I might have scored against Preston, mate. I mean, let's put it this way. There should be police cars, lawyers, solicitors, doctors, handcuffs, armed forces. They should all be at Manchester City's training ground this morning. All of them lined up. I'm talking at least 7 cars. Sirens flashing, all sorts of things. Why, you ask? Because Pep Guardiola should be in handcuffs. Because you've scammed us. You've cold called us in the middle of the afternoon, asked us for our bank details, told us it's an investment group, and you've wiped out our bank account. Even the overdraft. You even took the kids' savings. You took the lot. You sold us a left back that can't defend, who's got an autobiography out despite doing nothing at the football club. And you sold us a striker that told us scoring goals is not my strength. He's one-on-one hitting the ball straight at the goalkeeper. He should be in handcuffs. You've robbed us. We ain't even going to get half our money back, by the way. You put them on eBay, buy it now. No one's buying them. Even with free delivery, you ain't getting rid of them. Who the hell's going to buy Gabriel Jesus? 250 grand a week. Injury prone. Can't score goals. Who's going to buy that? That's like selling a car with one wheel and no engine. Just don't make sense. Yeah, add one more. Make it 131 charges. We sat there and said, yo, Pep's niced us up, you know. He sold us guys that have won the title, experience, leadership. This guy Zinchenko's going to go in at left back, start inverting. Jesus, we're going to unlock him, get 20 goals out of him. Yo, he's doing the call me celebration. Well, let me tell you, bro, you've ran out of credit. Remember back in the day when you was on Pay As You Go and you heard 1 minute remaining, you said, damn, let me tell you everything I need to tell you now. You heard 1 minute remaining a long time ago, bro. You ain't got no credit left. You ain't got no signal. The battery's on 1%. You need to go into airplane mode, bro, to save that 1%. And that's just to order your Uber. Get to the airport and learn Arabic on that flight, bro. Al Hilal, Al Ittihad, Al Nasser. One of them, Al's need to come and save you. I'll tell you that. That was the dad joke. If you missed it, don't worry about it. You can rewind it. Get him out of here, people. Do you know the crazy thing about his performance last night? If he would have scored last night, he would have actually got a good rating. He actually played all right. But the missed chances, mate, forget it. I don't care what you did. You ruined everything last night. You actually could have got Havertz out of the team with a good performance last night and saved me from watching that donkey for the next 4 weeks. Because if you'd have scored both goals, you'd have started against Everton. Everton are not great. You'd have probably scored in that. Then you hold down a place in the team. But no, what you've just done, you've just forced Havertz back into the team. So now we got to watch that donkey for another however long. Gabriel Jesus, thanks for turning up. 0. Simple as that, mate. Not interested. 250 grand a week. You missed 2 one-on-ones. Not for me, fella. Not for me. Do you know what? I'll give him 1 for the assist. I'll give him 1.5 because I actually think he played better than Martinelli. Martinelli, that's one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my life. He didn't even look like he could play football. I give him 1.5 for the assist. Apart from that, get yourself to the airport, mate. Get yourself to the airport. Our shirt says Fly Emirates on the front of it. I'm sure you can get a cheap flight. Get yourself out of here, fella. Not interested. Yasin, but Curtis is low on confidence. We need to support him. That's what Top Gooners will say. Yeah, and they can support him all they want. Not me, fella. Not me. I'll support you when you start doing your job. If you go to your job every day and you're not doing it, does your boss say, oh, I need to support you. I can see that you're low on confidence. They go, hang on a minute. During the interview, you said you could deliver this, this, and this. So far, that ain't happening. This is your last warning. If it don't happen in the next 4 weeks, P45 settings in business. This is business, people. This guy's on 250 grand a week. All you're showing us is cheekbones. Not for me, people. Not for me. £250,000 a week to walk around with cheekbones and a good hairline. Do one. We ain't Santa Claus handing out gifts. Martinelli, sell him. Jesus, sell him. Sell him. Get him out. Not interested. We're supposed to be going to a higher level. You think Pep would accept Martinelli playing like this? Jesus was playing all right for them. He still got rid of him. Not like this. 250 grand, I'm meant to feel sorry for him. He should feel sorry for me. Jesus should feel sorry for me. I'm doing a watch-along watching you stink out the TV. Nah, I don't feel sorry for him at all. He drove home in his Ferrari, opened the gates on his mansion, and sat down on his leather sofa and probably ate caviar and steak last night. I had to warm up the spaghetti bolognese after the stream. Washed it down with some Robinson's orange juice. I feel he should feel sorry for me. I'm meant to feel sorry for him. He's getting £1 million wages at the end of this month. £1 million. I don't feel sorry for him. They're putting me through agony watching them play football. So I'm sorry, people. I'm warming up spaghetti bolognese at 10:30 at night. Going to bed with indigestion because I've ate too late. I'm meant to feel sorry for him. He's in a Ferrari. Do me a favour. If you ain't good enough for Arsenal, get out of here. And he ain't good enough. Take them cheekbones and get to Saudi, mate. Simple as that. I'm meant to feel sorry for him. He should be sending me free tickets. Anyway. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the bench. That's enough. Get these Peruvians off the screen. Get them out of here. By the way, if any other clubs are watching this, they're good players. Sign them. They'll do a good job for you. Right, let's move on to the bench. Who even came off the bench? Timber. I didn't really understand Timber coming on. You're resting him and you bring him on for 30 minutes. Yeah, I'll give Timber a 7. I thought Timber looked really good when he came on. I thought he looked good. Trossard. I actually can't really remember Trossard doing much. What did Trossard do when he came on? I think he had a shot that went just over. Trossard 6. I actually can't remember him doing much. Jorginho, I can't even remember him touching the ball. I can't remember anything what he did in the game. I'll just give him a 6, just out of sympathy. Eve looked sharp when he came on, 6.5. It wasn't on for long. Havertz, for the goal that he may or may not have touched. Havertz actually looked like he had a point to prove when he came on. He was pressing. His first touch was good. He linked up play well. He may or may not have scored. I thought Havertz actually played well when he came on. So I give Havertz 7.5. Ethan, I'll probably give a 7, actually. He looked sharp when he came on. He only seems to come on for 12 minutes. I don't know why. Ricky said, with Real Madrid and City's form in the Champions League and our league form, we should focus on the Champions League. Gyökeres will be cup tied for Champions League. Better go for a left winger. Somebody said, I don't know how true this is, I think you can register 2 players in the Champions League in January, even if they've played for somebody else. I'm not sure what the rules are, but that's what I was told. Twinny said Waneri versus a mid-block. Odegaard versus a mid-block. Much better ball carrier, dribbler and transition threat. Also stronger in duels. He needs more game time. Yeah, because he draws people out to you because he runs at you. Well, Odegaard's always looking for a pass. He won't shoot from distance, so they can back off Odegaard knowing, he probably won't shoot. He's going to look for a through ball to Saka. Where Waneri will actually shoot, so you've got to go and press, and that creates space. I think Waneri's a fantastic player. TNM said, when Messi and Ronaldo retire, football is not going to have any superstars who give you 8 out of 10 rating week in, week out, if you think about it. I mean, yeah, Mbappe's been inconsistent. Haaland's not that exciting to watch. Vinicius is good, but even he's a little bit inconsistent. I think we spent 2 decades arguing who's better, Ronaldo or Messi, when really the answer was fall back and enjoy both of them. They're very different. They're very unique. And the competition was amazing to watch. It's actually sad that we're watching a Champions League with no Messi, no Ronaldo, no Neymar. But these new youngsters, you know, they need to grab the mantle and take over. T-Dot said, Saka is going to get a strong offer in the summer. This team plays decent ball, but the manager sticking with his favourites will cost us. The only thing I would say with Saka, I don't know what team would come in for him. Not because he doesn't have the ability, because Real Madrid have got Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius. I don't really see a need for a right winger. Man City was always a team I thought eventually could do with a right winger, but they've got court case going off. Liverpool, you could look at him as a long-term Salah replacement, but I'm not sure Saka would go to Liverpool. So yeah, man. Hopefully not. Jay Gooney said Vanderson probably tried to speak to Jesus and Martinelli in Portuguese and got confused when they didn't understand a word. Those guys are frauds. Man said, what language you speaking, bro? That ain't Brazilian. You man are from somewhere else. You're from the rainforest. You know what I mean? He said, who the hell are you, bruv? Big up yourself, Jay Gooney. Matt said it's changed with a new format. Yeah, so you can sign players from teams that have already played in the Champions League. Rodrigo ain't a right winger, he's a left winger. Yeah, but the majority of the time he plays on the right for Real Madrid. Vinicius is on the left. Maybe naturally he's a left winger, but he tends to play more on the right than the left. Vinny's on the left. He would be great on the left for Arsenal, though. Saka can start for Madrid. He could, but I just don't know if that's a priority for them. We know they're going to go for Trent. They're being linked with Alphonso Davies. And from what I've read, they desperately want a centre-back with the guy Militao being out. Arteta will give an 8. 3-0. Should have been 5 or 6. Players let him down. I suppose the bigger picture is the players that you've signed let you down. The blame will ultimately always filter back to you. But on the night, the players should have done better. We should have scored at least 5. But it was job done. We're third in the Champions League group. Champions League's looking good. I said it last night. I think Arsenal might have a better chance of winning the Champions League than the Prem. Now, some people will laugh at that and say, oh, how? You've never won the Champions League. I think the Champions League is wide open this year. And we could get in a situation where a Real Madrid, a Man City, a Bayern Munich get knocked out. You know, because I think a few of them are going to have to play off. And I think the cup competition, it makes it very open over 2 legs. And the Prem, I just think we look inconsistent. We're playing catch-up at the moment. But we'll see. We will see. Right, that's the end of the game. That's the player rating sorted out. Should we... All right, let's get the waffle out of the way. Let's get the waffle done. I don't think it's a long press conference, so hopefully it's quick waffle. Every word from Arteta's post-Monaco presser. Did you guys see the new jackets the players were wearing yesterday? A lot of people like them, but we'll stay away from it. On the overall performance, very happy with the win. Clean sheet with the fact we had to change a few players that haven't played that much, and they still perform really well and put us in a good position in the group. It's that time, people. Mickey Roast, the boss. Coleman music. Let's go. I believe it's a short press conference, so hopefully we can get through it reasonably quick. So I've got a few things that have popped up today that I want to speak about. On Bukayo Saka stepping up in the Champions League, he keeps surprising us, but that's what he wants to do. That's the quality he has. That's the ambition that he's acting and preparing himself every single day. I'm not surprised. It's difficult to do what he's doing. On Miles Lewis-Skelly's first start in the Champions League, he said, he's one of our own. What a really proud moment. 18 years old. He makes his starting debut in the Champions League, and he's just a joy to watch. It's a privilege to have the opportunity to give a chance to somebody, to start to change his career. He certainly took the chance. It's great we can trust him that he can play in his environment on this level, and I was really happy with his performance. Oh, is that how much the jackets are? 160. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, 1,700 in the chat, and we're on 400 likes. I'll end the stream if that carries on. People, come on. They're selling jackets for 160. I just want 1,000 likes. That should be light work. Oh, for real, we got Tottenham fans in here. What's going on? Come on, people. Caress the like button. It's free. It takes 1 second. Feed the algorithm. Feed the algorithm. He will score. On the number of chances we created, yeah, we should have scored 4 or 5 in the first half. This wasn't the case. This is the Champions League. The level of opposition is really high. I want to skip that. I wish they'd have asked him about the players who were missing the chances. Are Arsenal established in the Champions League? He said, we're enjoying our run. We keep learning. Today, a lot to take from the game. Experience. Oh, here come the heavy eyelids. I'm getting tired. On if Saka is world class, he said, you have to be able to do that consistently throughout many years to put yourself in that position. What he's already done at his age, you can already put in brackets because we can compare what he's done in his first 6 years of pro football, which is exceptional, you know, and that's it. His aim is to improve. He has the players and the environment to continue to do that, and I'm sure he will. He's kind of answered it by saying he is, but he hasn't actually answered yes or no. On whether Lewis Skelly is in contention to play more regularly. Hope you guys are still awake, by the way. My eyelids feel like they got bricks in them. He's tiring me already listening to this. He's good. He's been in contention in pre-season. He opened our eyes to say, I'm ready. The same as Ethan. He feels comfortable in this environment. They can perform. They can compete. It's important as well. Not just play, and today he's shown that at this level. Let's keep going. On how to help Gabriel Jesus' confidence. Yeah, book him a flight. That should sort it. He says nothing. Just put him in front of goal like he's done today on a couple of occasions. There are millimeters, centimeters to if the goal goes in or not. He was there. He looked really alive. He had created the first goal from a great move, and that's him. So we have him back. He's with us. I'm sure he will contribute. I mean, what do I say? He's with us. He's back. Apparently he's back. He didn't look back to me, people. He looked like he was a mess, missing chances. If he's back, we don't want that guy back because that guy can't shoot. On how to make the team more clinical, we have massive responsibility. He said, I cannot kick the ball, but we can coach them. Not coaching them very well. He said, we can teach them, and sometimes they have to take a step back as well. It's a decision they have to take. They cannot be thinking about what they have to do and what we've told them as well. We try to provide the right information and tools so they can understand the defence, understand the keeper. A lot of things we work on after that is their execution. It's a difficult thing to do in football, but they have a lot of talent to deliver. Start the cap. On the example Saka is setting for the young players, I think it's been an evolution. He wasn't able to do that at 17, 18 or 19 a year or two ago because he has developed in the right way mentally, physically, his condition, his preparation now. He has the habit to play every 3 days. He's consistently doing that at the highest level. I think he needs to continue to do that. And for the youngest players, for the other ones and for all of us, he is a great example because of how he behaves daily and because what he wants to do with us is to try have the best version every day and continue to improve. It's over. For those of you still awake in the comments, we got a couple more stories to talk about. For those of you asleep, I can only apologise. The waffle is over. Get it out of here. We don't want to hear any more of that. Big up Tony Claude Gunner TV said, big ups Curtis for the cameo. God bless you, boss. Big up, bro. Elliot Waffles. Nyamin Waffles. Sipping syrup. Monaco wins without champagne striking. Listening to that man music. I mean, that was not champagne finishing last night. That was Lambrini. That was Carver. You know what I mean? That was fizzy water last night. Arteta is using Saka to diss Martinelli, said Don. He said, yo, you know what I mean? The others need to step up as well. Anyway, let's move on, people. Let's move on. Couple of transfer stories. Then we will round up and get out of here, people. Let's start with the talk around Daily Dusan. He scores against Manchester City. So, of course, they link him to Arsenal the following morning. Arsenal have identified Dusan Vlahovic as a more realistic striker target after Newcastle apparently named a £115 million price for Alexander Isak. But apparently, we're going to sign Isak in the summer. Let me tell you now, people. I said it before and I said it again. Isak has 3.5 years left on his contract. No release clause. Richest owners on the planet. How do we get him out of that football club? Unless the Kroenkes go crazy and make a huge offer. Do you think the Kroenkes are going to spend 100 million plus? I don't think so. 115 million pounds is the asking price. 115, which was Man City's thing, but they're now 130. Dusan Vlahovic, I mean, I'm just going to say, I don't take anything out of this story. There's no quotes, there's no nothing. I mean, Vlahovic scored yesterday. I think Ederson should have probably saved it. Just looking at his numbers, he does have 4 goals in 5 Champions League games. Saka's got that. He's got 6 goals in the league. He got 16 last season. 24 years of age. Apparently, he's having a dispute over his contract, and this is where the story's coming from. His contract expires in 2026. So this summer, he will only have a year left on his deal and has refused to sign a new deal as of yet. So there may be a possibility that they will sell him. Naturally, Juventus are not going to allow him to go in the last year of his contract. But would they sell him now, or would they say wait till the summer and get rid of him with a year left? Listen, if he's saying he's not going to sign a new deal, maybe they would sell him in January. I mean, having looked at the table, Juventus are 6th in the league at the moment. They're not having a great season, although they are only 7 points off the top. So maybe there is an opportunity to get him, but I'm just, I'm not particularly thinking that we're going to get Vlahovic. But listen, if you spoke to him and he said, I'm not signing a new deal, maybe they would sell him in January to get the money. What do you guys think of Dusan? I always think he looks decent. I've never watched him and thought, wow, we need to get him. I just think he's a solid target, man. I've said it before and I've said it again, people. Like, just to get you all ready. Get ready for Benjamin Sesko 2025. Get ready for Benjamin Sesko 2025. Telling you now. Osimhen, for some reason, they didn't want him. Gyökeres, for some reason, they don't want him. They don't want to pay the money. Ivan Toney, they were scared of him. You're not getting Dusan Vlahovic. Isak's going to get priced out. We'll buy Sesko. Sesko, 4 league goals this season, 14 last season. We'll get Sesko. 21 years of age. He'll sit on the bench. Havertz will start. I'm telling you now. Mark my words. That's what we'll do. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. That's my expectation. I don't think we'll get Vlahovic, and I don't think we'll get Isak. He's okay, but he's better than Sesko. Yeah, I do think Vlahovic is better than Sesko. It's crazy to think Osimhen's now got a 65 million release clause. Gyökeres has an 80 million release clause. There's no reason for Arsenal to be buying somebody like Sesko or somebody like that. It's not necessary. We don't need to buy a player like that. So we'll see what happens with that one. And I think we can all see after last night we need a striker. We knew that anyway, but we definitely know that now, people. Couple more stories. I'll get through these quickly. I didn't realise I've been live for an hour and 10 minutes. Big up the community locked in. Appreciate your support as always. Hit the like button and subscribe. Thomas Partey. Sammy Mockbell saying, despite around 6 weeks ago, a story coming out that Arsenal were going to offer Partey a 3-year deal. Sammy Mockbell now saying Thomas Partey's future at Arsenal is uncertain, with no significant progress made on a new contract. In just 20 days, he can sign a deal elsewhere. Remember, if you're in the last 6 months of your contract, you can sign a pre-contract agreement for a team outside of your current league. So Partey could sign for, I don't know, Atletico Madrid in January to sign in the end of the season on a free. Sources have indicated there is no major urgency at the club to nail down Partey's future, despite his re-emergence this season. The fact Arsenal are in the market to sign a new centre midfielder, most likely in the summer, and have begun identifying targets indicates that Partey could leave the club at the end of the season, although Jorginho's deal is also due to expire in the summer. Interesting. I mean, Partey and Jorginho out of contract this summer. Jorginho for me would be gone. I think that's ran its course. He isn't going to get any better. You know, unless you're keeping him on as a coach, I would let Jorginho go. With Partey, I mean, he's playing really well, but I wouldn't be too disappointed if both went and we brought 2 new ones in and freshened up that midfield and just had a completely different look. Yeah, listen, it's a tough one because Partey's having a very good season. I'm always very wary about giving contracts to players who've been injury prone and he's going to want 2 or 3 years. He's 31. I mean, he turns 32 in June. As I said, the only way would be a 1-year deal with a 1-year option. Otherwise, I'd move him on. I would not be giving Partey a 2-year deal when he turns 32 in June. By the start of next season, he's 32 years of age. He's on 200 grand. He might be asking for the same wage or a small pay rise. Jorginho definitely should be gone. Partey, it would have to be a short deal and with a little pay cut for me. I'm not giving a 32-year-old who's been massively injury prone an extension for a long period of time. Maybe Arsenal freshen up the midfield completely and you go with Partey and Jorginho out the door. You've got Rice. Marino, for me, is a backup player. And then you go and get 2 new centre mids. Timber's brother is decent. He does look pretty decent. I reckon Partey will end up in Italy or Saudi. I think he's at that point in his career now. He's been linked with Italy a lot, maybe a slower league. Brett said, Curtis, what do you think about the news of Partey leaving in the summer? Also, can you recall a team drastically falling off like City has? City fall off it's the form, innit? It's not just the fact. If you look at City, really, they're still, top 4 in the league or whatever. They're still in the mix. But because they've been so dominant, but I just think with the 115 in the background, Pep scratching his face, there's players that I think are past their best. I think they've lost that hunger, City. Once you lose the hunger, you've got a problem, you know? Marianne said, see, if we spent 105 million on Rice, why wouldn't we do 115 for Isak? I just think the club were prepared to pay that for Rice. I think Rice is a potential future captain. I think he'll be one of the faces of the club. He's in his early 20s, English tax. I just think Rice was perfect for Arsenal. They got into a race to sign him and City forced them to pay that much money by offering 80 million or 90 million. I think they would have tried to have got Rice a lot cheaper. I think because Isak's been injury prone, everything is PR. Declan Rice is a great signing for PR. He's potentially a future England captain, you know. He's a big character for the club. He could be at the club for 8-9 years, Declan Rice. I don't think they will look at Isak in that same way. But I do like Isak, of course. So it'll be interesting what happens with Thomas Partey. Would you let him go? Would you give him a new deal? That's a very interesting one. Couple more stories. I'm just going to finally skip through these 2 stories. Real Sociedad sporting director Roberto Alarbi, who is leaving the Spanish club at the end of the season, is believed to be Mikel Arteta's preference to replace Edu, says Sami Mokbel, who is a reasonable source, I have to admit. And is it more jobs for the boys, people? They were talking about Dan Ashworth. Dan Ashworth, what I spoke about yesterday, has actually done good work at clubs, but the fact he wanted Southgate at Man United just puts me off him. Luis Campos was spoken about, but Arteta has a very close relationship with this Roberto Alarbi. He actually signed Arteta as a player. Obviously, we've loaned Tierney to Sociedad. We've signed Marino from Sociedad. Odegaard was on loan at Sociedad before we signed him. Maybe they're thinking, look, get Alarbi in and maybe that can get a Zubimendi. Maybe you can convince Isak to come from Newcastle. So maybe they're doing it as a connection. I don't know. But he's out of contract this summer at Sociedad. Arteta's close friends with him. The Athletic have already stated that Arteta is going to have a big say in who the next sporting director is. So it wouldn't surprise me if this happened. I don't know too much about him. He's been given some credit for doing good work at Sociedad. Although what I've read, the Sociedad fans are not happy with him, what he did in the summer with their transfer business, and they've struggled this season. Finally, of course, I was always going to finish the show by talking about this story. And I know we have briefly gone over it, but I am going to bring it up. You asked me the question during the show. Now I'm asking you the question. TalkSport saying Manchester United may be willing to sell Marcus Rashford for as little as £40 million. They want to get him off the wage bill, £300,000 a week. Now, I said earlier, and listen, I've been somebody, by the way, that has advocated on this channel before that I would take Rashford. I don't think Rashford works in an Arteta system. He's 27 years of age, 4 goals this season. Would any of you take Marcus Rashford for £40 million? I know I say little as, Matt, but is it a case of that's a good player that's at the wrong club and needs a new start, or is he just not that guy? Is he just not that guy? 2 years ago, I think I'd have taken him. Now, I'm not sure even I would take him. And I'm a fan of Rashford. I think he should go PSG or somewhere like that, to be honest. I think it's too late for Rashford. Yamin Waffle, Sibber Syrup, no Balogun in attack, but our star boy form is back with all the Coman music. Tommy's clashing Elliot. He said, sorry for the lateness, people. Arsenal do like rescue missions, but I don't even think Arteta would take Rashford. I think Rashford's too much for Arteta to manage. He's at New York Knicks games, dripped out in Louis. Arteta can't handle that. You saw the way he was with Auber. He didn't like that. No, listen, not for me. Not for me. Like I said, 2 years ago, when he kept, scoring and doing that, 17 league goals, I might have taken him then. Now, nah, not for me. Not for me. I think go PSG, win the league, you'll score 20-odd goals there. You got Martinelli that's running with his head on the floor. You got Rashford that walks around the pitch. It's just not going to work, is it? It's not going to work, people. Right, thank you very much. I'm out of here, people. Appreciate your support as always. Good to see Arsenal collect 3 points. Let me just read this final super chat. Brian said, Rashford is a good player. He's like a much better version of Martinelli. I actually think he is better than Martinelli, by the way. Likes to run into space and does not solve our low block issues. So yeah, I wouldn't be going. That's not the answer. Get a left winger that upgrades on what we've got that helps us moving forward. Go and get Kvara, get Leao, get somebody like that, and go and buy a striker. Get Gyökeres, get somebody in January, but probably not, knowing the Kroenkes. People, big up yourselves. Enjoy your Thursday. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button and subscribe. I'll be back 2 p.m. tomorrow. Press conference reaction. We'll build up to the game against Everton. Everton, yeah, 3 p.m. on Saturday. Big up. Take care. See you soon, people. Bless.